Hello everyone, Darren here, and on today's episode of Watch the Academy, we're going to look at how to play the Tier 8 Swedish medium tank, the Earthshaker. This is basically a Centurion 1 with some changes made to it, as well as the 7-1 gun brought down to Tier 8. So without further ado, let's get started. So, jumping right on into the armor on the Earthshaker is very similar to other Centurions, and I won't need to go into much detail. The armor scheme you see on your screen promotes a hull-down type of gameplay with the hull and roof of the tank lightly armored by comparison to the turret, and susceptible to pretty much everything. Do be wary that the top slope on the front of the turret won't do much to defend you against Tier 10 guns, so keep this in mind when deciding to sit hull down in front of higher tier enemies. Now, in terms of mobility, the Earthshaker appears to be your average Centurion. With a forward speed of 52.5 kilometers per hour and a reverse speed of 21 kilometers per hour, you, in theory, should be able to find yourself able to keep up with the pack and able to maneuver around the battlefield with relative ease. However, this does not appear to be the case, as the tank actually appears to be and feels very sluggish in its general mobility, and I have very rarely ever reached the top speed. As for the 20% chance of fire, I would normally recommend a fire extinguisher, but I actually found to have premium fuel to be more important. However, use whatever consumable you feel will improve your performance. Now, in terms of firepower, the Earthshaker has a pretty good gun, as it's the fabled 105mm L7 gun from the Centurion 7-1 at Tier 9, with a base accuracy of 0.31, a base reload time of 11.18 seconds, and a base aim time of 2.4 seconds. As I said, you basically have the Centurion 7-1 gun at Tier 8. You will be able to hit your shots, but you will have to wait a little bit to get on target, and you will be in trouble if caught in a brawl due to the long reload of the gun. As for the elevation and depression angles of -10 and +18, you should have no problem fighting in and around ridgelines and hills. It is a Centurion after all. Now, how do you set up the Earthshaker? Well, I personally run 42 APCR, 30 premium hash, and 0 regular hash, because why run regular hash when you have premium hash? I also run a repair kit, a first aid kit, and fuel to boost my mobility, but of course, run whatever consumables you prefer. For equipment, I personally run advanced loader, vertical stabilizer, and optics. But you can drop the optics for vents, powertrain, or traction system if you wish to do so, and I'm only mentioning the mobility equipment because I genuinely feel that the mobility of the tank is subpar compared to its brethren. For the commander's setup, I run the following skills, and in no particular order: Sixth Sense, Born Leader, Rapid Loading, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Track Mechanic, Marked Target, and Situational Awareness. Of course, you can set up the commander to suit your preferences. So, how do you play the Earthshaker? Well, this will be very short and simple, as Centurions excel at nothing in particular, but can do whatever you really need with, general ease. They are pretty decent when fighting on hilly terrain compared to any other type of terrain. However, given how this Centurion behaves more sluggishly compared to its brethren, I find that when mid or bottom tier, I am a support tank first and foremost on the second or rear line of the battle, having to stick with stronger tanks to support me, as I am unable to move around quickly enough when needed, or if I'm caught out alone, escape will almost certainly be very difficult or impossible depending on the enemy tanks chasing me. When top tier, however, if you can get into a strong hull down position that hides your hull, you can go to work on same or lower tier tanks with the reliable L7 gun that you would normally only find at tier 9 and above that shoots APCR and premium HESH. That does it for this overview. Now let's look at some gameplay. Alrighty, so here we are on Pilsen. It is standard battle, and I am bottom tier. Now, I did purposely choose this battle as I felt that now, in the current environment that we are in, with certain high caliber tanks, that it is now important to display how a tank performs when it is bottom tier. So probably all videos with this format going forward are going to be using a replay from the bottom tier point of view. So because I am a Centurion and because this is Pilsen, a pretty brawling focused map, with it mostly being flat, I've decided to pretty much stick around the 9-0 line, the east side of the map, and just play around in the hills. I am bottom tier, so it's even more reason to, well, kind of stay in the hills, because I am just a dinky tier 8 Centurion in a tier 10 game. Now, we saw right off the bat there that I managed to engage a Bat Chat 25 TAP, that the tier 9 Bat Chat. He responded by putting a round right into the top of my turret there on that front sloped part that I mentioned was weak. And, of course, before I could retaliate against anything there, I had the AVRE just roll right in front of me. Because that's what we do now, is just roll in front of our teammates and eat shots from the enemy, I guess, for them. I don't know. So, yeah, pretty much this a good chunk of this game is going to actually be pretty slow, uneventful. It's not very action-packed. And I'm going to keep stressing this, that this is a replay from being bottom tier. You are in a tier 8, you are facing tier 10s, you are facing a bunch of tanks that can pretty much just wipe you off the map. And I'm just going to demonstrate the capabilities of this tank when you are bottom tier. Now, the accuracy is pretty decent, and unfortunately I don't do the gun justice. Just for some reason, I had horrible aim that night, and I could not keep my hand steady when trying to actually aim. But in normal circumstances, the gun of this tank, or just the L7 in general, is very reasonably accurate, and you can almost hit anything that you aim at with its superior accuracy. There is a reason I swear by this gun, and I just pass in front of that guy too. Apparently we all do that. So what you're seeing right now is I'm just trying to constantly get angles and still you still maintain hull down capability. And I have been constantly using fuel. Very nice snapshot on the Leopard there. Like I said, this tank feels very sluggish. This is like the one Centurion I actually dislike playing, just because of how different it feels from the other Centurions. And I am going to sneak a shot on the Bat Chat 25 TAP. Get a nice good shot there. And you're going to see I'm going to be using this angle a lot here. I thought I could snake a shot on that AVRE and it does connect. Like I said, accuracy good, but it's just on an angle where I would not have done much damage or penned at all, really. Now here we go. I'm going to try and aim on the Tu-79E. Like I said, accuracy phenomenal. I can hit the cupola of the tank, and now I'm just going to keep working this angle here, trying to get a reliable shot on the Death Star if I can. But of course, if Mr. AVRE is going to keep poking and doing that, then I have no problem targeting him because he's just as dangerous. So I'm going to hold my position. I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to wait for him to back up. I'm going to put a shot in, and lo and behold, my shot connects, actually does damage this time, and now I've been lit up. And once again, like the turrets is apparently not that reliable if you're not completely hull down, as tanks are penning me from the side. They are going through the upper sloped front portion of my turret like it's butter. It's only like 85 millimeters thick, that one front little strip of sloped armor. So it can definitely get overmatched by some of the larger caliber guns, and I want to keep stressing that. Now, going back to what I said with the mobility and everything, like I said, this vehicle just its stats say one thing, but when you're playing this, it just feels extremely sluggish. The reverse speed doesn't feel that bad, but going forward when you're trying to get to places or you're trying to relocate quickly, it does not feel like an Action X. It does not feel like an Atomic Centurion or a Centurion 5-1. It does not feel like you can get up and go like all the other Centurions. No, this one feels like it's a pre-buffed Centurion 7-1. It feels incredibly slow and sluggish. It does not get up and go. And in this tank where, that mobility is kind of key. Oh, here we go. I'm trying to get a good shot onto the AVRE, and unfortunately I couldn't aim there. I was aiming for the tracks, and I couldn't tell if I was going to just, dunk that into like a solid piece of cover or if I was going to actually pen the side there, and I didn't aim low enough. There we go. I switched to Hesh, and this is why I don't really like Hesh that much, at least premium Hesh. I prefer it to Heat. I only did like 100 and something damage to the UDES when, really I should have done significantly more. But from now on, I've kind of switched to Heat at this point. Not Heat, switched to Hesh at this point. We are winning. We're, it's 8-5, and now I'm actually going to push up. But we can see here that I only picked up speed going down the slope there, and I'm holding steady. I was holding steady at like 42, 43, and I'm only getting close to like 50 kilometers an hour when I'm on like pavement. There we go. Put a nice good Hesh shot into the that new tank there. That the Murat. That's it. I don't know why I can remember that name. And then I backed up. I did still eat a shot from the Murat because I stopped and I stayed there in the middle instead of just continuously moving. I wanted to make sure I at least penned. Now, again, we're going to demonstrate that the Hesh is not to be trifled with, as we are going to go up against an STI or an ST1, whichever you like to look at it. And, of course, an AVRE. I'm going to put a shot of Hesh into the side of the ST1. It's going to pen. And now we're just going to back up. We're going to reload. We don't need anyone creeping over, seeing that I'm a one-shot and just, getting rid of me. Now that I've reloaded, I'm going to push up. The AVRE is not looking at me. I'm going to put a shot into him, and then someone else takes care of the Astron Rex. And, yeah, I was bottom tier, but at the end of the day, at the end of this battle, I came up as the MVP of the game with, I would say literally just over 4,000 damage combined. Yes, I am including the assisted damage in with my damage results as assisted damage, I believe. As long as I remember, still counts towards marks of excellence. And it does a pretty nice silver bonus there when you have the premium account. As we can see, I did make 115,000 silver. I would have made about 69,000 silver if I saw it correctly there if I didn't have premium, but that's still a healthy amount for a tier 8. And there we go, MVP. Overall, I'm going to say that compared to the Dragon, this is not as a desirable tank. I would still choose the Dragon over the Earthshaker, but seeing as this is now part of an Earn Op for Thanksgiving, I figured to make a video on this. It's going to do it for today's video. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and until next time, this has been Darren of WotC Academy.